Hello, everyone, and welcome to Vicent's AI webinar series. My name is Jaden Kerr, a senior software engineer here at Vicent, and I'll be your host for the next 9 weeks. So, who is Vicent? Vicent is a leading Australian consultancy specializing in data and AI, alongside cloud, digital, and identity. We're known for our deep technical craft, outcome-focused delivery, and our partnerships with AWS and Microsoft. With over 1,000 people across Australia, we work with some of the country's most recognized brands and government agencies to architect, build, and run modern technology solutions. We're thrilled to have you join us as we explore the ever-evolving world of AI. In this series, we'll dive into what's possible today, what's coming next, and how to navigate it responsibly. Each session will dive into real-world use cases, practical frameworks, and expert insights to help you move forward with confidence. Today's session is how Microsoft customers are using Copilot to solve real problems. Here's this week's speaker, Raj Pamamal. Over to you, Raj.
Thanks, Jaden. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm really excited to be here with you today to talk about how Microsoft customers are using Copilot to solve real problems. So as Jaden mentioned, I'm Raj Pamamal. I'm a senior principal from the digital team here at Versant, and I also perform the role as the Power Platform practice lead. So at Versant, we've been working with Copilot Studio and Microsoft Copilot and Microsoft 365 Copilot since its inception, and we've gained a lot of experience delivering projects in the real world. And so today I want to share some of the experiences and insights with you. The agenda I have today is starting with a Microsoft Copilot overview, and then introducing Copilot Studio, and then talking about the Copilot Studio architecture, and then going through some use cases. So hopefully this will give you some ideas of use cases you can potentially use in your own organization. So I'll talk through some use cases of where we've delivered Copilot Studio agents and the requests for Copilot Studio agents that we're getting a lot of. So to start with, I wanted to provide an overview of Microsoft Copilot. So not Microsoft 365 Copilot, but more broadly Microsoft Copilot. So within Microsoft, they're building Copilots into every product. So whether it's the business applications such as Dynamics, customer service and sales, whether it's in the operating system and Windows, and whether it's on top of Microsoft 365 with Microsoft 365 Copilot and the Copilots within Office. There is a lot of Copilots. And there's a lot you can do and a lot of value you can get from using those Copilots effectively. But it doesn't stop there. You can go further and you can extend those Copilots, but you can also build your own custom Copilots. And there's multiple tools you can use. You can use Azure AI Foundry to build a Copilot, or you can use the Microsoft 365 Agents Toolkit. They're both pro code tools, but what I wanted to talk through today was Microsoft Copilot Studio. So that's a low code, no code tool for building agents, generative AI agents, agentic AI agents. So I'll talk through that. And so to introduce the Copilot Studio products, as I mentioned, there's a lot of what we call first-party Copilots that run on the Microsoft products. So Microsoft 365 Copilot, Dynamics Sales Copilot, and a Copilot that runs on Power Platform apps, for example. There's other Microsoft Copilots as well, and also custom developed Copilots. And Microsoft Copilot Studio is a tool to extend those copilots. So with plugins so a plugin that runs on top of the Microsoft 365 Copilot, that might be where you want to integrate your custom line of business system into Microsoft 365 Copilot. But you can also build completely bespoke custom copilots that run separately. So they might run on your public website. They might run on your intranet. They might run as a custom copilot in Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Copilot Studio also integrates with a lot of the other Microsoft technologies, such as Azure AI Search, Azure AI Foundry, Power Platform AI Builder, and the many Power Platform connectors available. So there are over 1,000 connectors available to various applications now. So I'll drill down into the architecture. And so the first call out here is Copilot Studio agents can be deployed to various channels. So on the left there, I mentioned building a plugin into Microsoft 365 Copilot, building a Copilot that runs in Teams, within Dynamics, or within social media applications such as Facebook Messenger, or within Slack. But there's also the ability to create copilots or agents or chatbots in your custom applications or your public websites or mobile applications. So that's channels, but in the engine of Copilot Studio, and Copilot Studio came from Power Platform virtual agents. So there's a significant amount of capability with creating messages and that map to topics, and then that drives the functionality of the Copilot Studio conversations. More recently, it's been extended with generative answers, which is the generative AI capabilities, which integrate with Azure OpenAI and Azure AI Search. It's quite transparent when you start building generative answers. It just uses Azure OpenAI, and you don't need to do any specific integration. You can build Azure AI Foundry solutions and integrate them into Copilot Studio, and then you can extend Copilot Studio with Power Automate flows and agent flows, which gives you a lot more capability and integration options. You can then integrate AI Builder as well, which gives you more advanced AI capabilities. And it's all built on Power Platform and Microsoft Dataverse, which gives you a lot of robust security and scalability and so forth. So to recap and just the value proposition of Copilot Studio and the related tools, first and foremost, it's a low-code, no-code AI development tool. So you can build generative AI and agentic AI solutions, custom solutions, without being an advanced AI developer, without being a data scientist, which is a great value add. And then you can improve customer experience and you can improve employee experience in a cost-effective way. So the customer experience might be automating a customer service process and improving response times because those processes have been automated. With improving employee experience, it's providing greater access to knowledge across the organization and automating manual processes as well, so internally. And the other thing is you control the data. So with a public AI service such as ChatGPT, it's a public service, so you don't have control of the knowledge. With Copilot Studio, you have control. You use your knowledge, whether it's SharePoint, whether it's databases, and so forth, and you control it. You control the SharePoint libraries and the tables that should be consumed and used in the chatbot. And again, it's built on Power Platform. So it's a robust platform with security and governance built in. Now I'm going to go through some use cases and the use cases that we're seeing in industry. So they're generally in two types. The first type is knowledge agents, which uses generative AI. But then there's automation agents, which are more moving towards agentic AI. And so they have generative AI, but they also have workflows built in them. So it might be multiple steps where first step integrates with user generative AI, and it might be GPT RAG integrated with a SharePoint library, and then it gets an answer and then goes to the next step and the next step. So, or automates creation of a file, for example. So the knowledge agents, HR agents are a popular one. We've had multiple requests for that. Electrical products, providing knowledge to customer service and sales operators, insurance customer service agents. So a lot of knowledge agents are providing knowledge to either customer service or sales or internal teams. We've also created a waste services AI assistant to help the call center in a local council, and a police handbook. So police handbook, they're very long and allowing, this was a POC, allowing police officers to be able to find information quickly out of a 300-page handbook. So that very popular, the knowledge agents, but also automation agents, whether it's automating the creation of a financial advice file note, to create automating position descriptions for files for a HR team, automating test case creations from Jira boards, generating board reports, competitor analysis agents, so automating the work of looking at competitor websites and documents. So they're the types of use cases that we get a lot of requests for, and we're building out for customers. So I'll drill down into several of these to give you a bit more insight into it. So the first one was for a superannuation fund, and they had an advisor team that would have a lot of meetings with members. So the advisor team was about 30 in that team, and they would all run many meetings a week. And they'd generally run these meetings with teams, and then record the meeting, and then watch them back and put together a financial advice file note. And that could take 2 or 3 hours, and then they'd send that back to the member. This process automated it. So there was multiple ways that the automation was kicked off via a chatbot, the Copilot Studio chatbot, and also within a Teams app. But essentially, it took the transcript, took a lot of the content, and then transformed it with generative AI, with AI Builder, and generated the document, the advice file note document. The benefit was, of course, there was time savings and reduction of manual processing. So it was generally, it would take 15 minutes to do instead of a couple of hours, because the advisor just would have to review, but also consistency. So out of those 30 advisors, they would previously have very different looking file notes, but through this process, it was a lot more consistent, and it did things quite intelligent things, like it would take a key statement that the member would say about their financial goals and highlight it. So that was the first use case I wanted to go through. So that was very successful and saved a lot of time and for this customer. The next one is a is a knowledge chatbot, and this was quite a complex one because this organization had very complex electrical products. So think switchboards for shopping centers and factories, and very complex products. And the sales and service staff would forget a lot about a lot of the products, the details of the products. So this solution helped with that. So a salesperson might get a call from a customer, and the customers were generally electricians, and they'd ask technical questions about what a product does or what's the best product for their requirements, and the chatbot solved that. This one actually had to be extended. It was quite a while ago. It was about 18 months ago we developed this, but it was extended with the Zero AI Foundry so that it could go into their custom database, products database. And so there was quite a bit of Python written so that the comparisons of products could be captured. And also it also used Copilot Studio with in terms of helping with going through their knowledge base and helping to solve technical queries. So that was a good solution as well that delivered great benefits for the customer. We've also developed a automation solution for a local council. So this local council has several thousand employees, and they all have a position description. And when a new role is hired for, or existing role is rehired, there's a process of working through the position description, whether it's updating it, whether it's creating it from scratch. And this solution automated that process for hiring managers. So it was hosted in Microsoft Teams. They would fill out some general details around the position. So the band, for example, the type of position, and some other variables, and then generative AI would generate a position description using various knowledge sources, using existing position descriptions that are similar, and it would create the first version of that position description. And then the hiring manager could update it, and then the solution would then do a review. And so it would be a conversation back and forth until that position description was right. And in that review, it would look at things like enterprise agreements. So whether the position description written and the words in it align to that enterprise agreement, and also other business rules. So for example, if it's got wording that isn't right for a band, for example, if it's a band and there's no leadership and it's got the words lead and leadership in it, that the agent would highlight that. So that is another a good example of what can be achieved with Copilot Studio. And then the next one I wanted to cover was an app that our customer has built. It's a Power App, and it's an app to manage architecture essentially in the organization. So this is a technology led organization. They're constantly delivering new technology solutions, and those solutions need architecture, and they need to be approved by the Enterprise Architecture Board. So they had a high volume of architecture, and so there's an app developed to manage those architecture requests and approvals. And so as a user, you could go into the application, you could, in a traditional way, search for an in-progress architecture and then open up a record and review it. But another option is to use a conversational user experience. So go in, ask questions about that architecture and where it's at, and also just general questions about enterprise architecture and the policies, so that the Copilot was deployed into the application. So the user had the choice. They could go directly into the records, find them and open them and review them, or use the conversational experience. And they could ask things like when the next the number of architecture artifacts up for the next session, and questions like that. So the conversational experience gave the users a different experience, and one that could give them the information, the answers a lot quicker than using the traditional application. So they were the use cases I had to go through. I'm actually doing quite well for time. Jaden, can questions be asked if anyone has questions?
Just jumping in for Jaden, we can absolutely do some Q&A. There's a chat box there. Unfortunately, participants are muted, but welcome to put in any questions you have via the chat box.
Awesome. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Raj via his email, which I will share shortly. Cool. Thanks, Raj. And thanks for joining today's session, everyone. Before we close, I want to highlight how Vicent can support you on your AI journey beyond this webinar series. So we offer a Pathfinder for AI governance, a free tailored workshop designed to help you assess your organization's AI maturity and define a clear roadmap for ethical and secure AI adoption. It's built on a proven framework used by one of Australia's largest public-facing companies, and it covers everything from strategic deployment and policy alignment to continuous improvement and monitoring. You'll walk away with a benchmark of your current AI maturity, ideation on high-value AI use cases, recommendations for policy and guardrails, and a roadmap to accelerate enablement and reduce risk. If you're interested, you can reach out to us at ai@vicent.com.au to book your workshop. If you have any questions or follow-ups about today's topic, you can reach Raj at the email at the bottom of the screen. I see we've got some questions in the chat, and we'll address it at the end. So what's next in this series? We've got 8 weeks to go. Next week, week 3, the 28th of August, our speaker, Andy Painter, Data and AI Practice Director, on his talk, Building Semantic Layers for Intelligent Data Access. In other upcoming sessions, we'll be diving into topics like AI-powered customer experience, Gen AI use cases in healthcare and operations, and how to build secure, scalable AI systems. So keep an eye out for invites to these in your inbox. Thanks again for being part of the Vicent AI webinar series. We look forward to helping you unlock the full potential of AI safely, ethically, and with impact. Having for time. Awesome. Raj, do you want to address the questions in the chat?
Sure. There's a question from Karen Ruse. I hope I pronounced that right. So do you have examples of use cases that didn't work? We do, certainly. So one of the key things about getting the Copilot Studio chatbots that use generative answers is the content. So if the content or the knowledge source content is not that great, it's not in the right format, it's not written in a way that essentially GPT RAG can consume well, the answers can be pretty poor. So we've had some examples where it was a challenge just to get a lot of that content in the right shape. So that's one area where we've had indifferent results. And so GPT RAG works really well on content that's sequential text, paragraphs, and well-written paragraphs. When it's quite unstructured, there needs to be extra work, and that's where Copilot Studio generative answers, out of the box, and those it needs extra work to get that 100%. Hope that answers the question. So the other question was from Eugenie. So for the electrical knowledge scenario, sounds like it would have a lot of structured data at a high level. How did you manage that as a knowledge source? So yes, it was tabular data essentially. And when we deliver this solution, Copilot Studio didn't support Dataverse. So that data could have been imported into Dataverse, that structured database. So what we did is we built a Azure AI Foundry essentially solution that went to the database, the tabular database, and there was Python code involved, so a lot of Python code. So this solution, it kind of had two paths. One path was more where it went through the knowledge base, which was a whole lot of documents, structured documents that were written and optimized for the scenario. So that used Copilot and generative answers. But then we also had another path, which then used Azure AI Foundry and a more customized solution.
Looks like we've got one final question.
One final question. So how do you measure the return on investment for generative AI projects, and what strategies are used to ensure appropriate guardrails are in place for challenges like hallucination? So with Copilot Studio, so I'll kind of start backwards. Hallucination is a reality, and especially if the content isn't very good. So you can put disclaimers on the answers, so that to please check the answer, and also provide links to the content. So even though the content is your content, you can control it. It can still happen, that hallucination or incorrect answers. So those are two steps, the easy ones. Put a disclaimer on the answer, put links to the content so that the user can verify it directly. There is with Copilot Studio, there is a center of excellence, AI center of excellence that helps putting those strategies and guardrails in place. Return on investment is a bit different for each organization. Each organization assesses it differently. Like we have organization that their first and foremost rule is no jobs are impacted at all. So they have perhaps different return on investment in terms of, rather than reducing manual effort significantly, it might be more about providing a better customer service or getting on top of a backlog. So each organization is different, but those things, automating, freeing employees up, improving customer service, reducing response times, they're all things that are assessed and high on the priority list. I think we've gone time. So I hope that provides some insights and answer those questions.
Awesome. Thanks again, Raj. And everyone, I hope you have a great day, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.